Just to look at some of the maybe downsides of the win, Luke. Defensively, out wide in particular, Wales made a lot of inroads. There's no getting away from it. Like when it looked home and host at 14 points of an advantage, but they came back. What areas would you pick out defensively and to say, okay, that's why we were conceding so many tries?
Well, I think they can be caught at times out wide. The mentality is very hard off the line, and that's a good thing. But there are times when you're going to have to manage a team when you're not prepared for it and you're a little bit tight and they're set well. I think at times you look at the last try, I think the Steph Evans try, someone on the inside stepping forward just a little bit too far. Coming off the line like you've been told, and if they're not ready on the outside, then you put the outside guys under pressure, because two people in two different schools of thought. The guys on the outside are trying to manage because they feel like they're not ready or they're not comfortable on the inside. The guys on the inside trying to get off the line, which is part of the system, and that's a dangerous part. And I think as well, Stockdale, while he was great going forward, he's got an incredible try record. He's struggling defensively. The intercept was great to get, but if you're in those positions, I always think you're not marking a guy, and that's a risk to take. It was great to see him get it, and you like to see a young guy back himself, but there was a lot of times during the game I saw him backpedaling. If you're backpedaling in that situation, it means you've got your footwork wrong, you've read the play wrong, you haven't connected with the guy on the inside. And I thought for the first try as well, Davies has to be made to pass that ball. You can't just walk that try in that situation. Even though Ireland defended it poorly on the inside, there was a few poor missed tackles from even very experienced guys on the inside. You still have to make them pass that last one.
That's the defensive What advice would you give to Stockdale?
Well, I think he's a big guy. I think he needs to get himself in good positions earlier. I think he's not connecting early enough with the guys inside him, which is kind of key in that position. That kind of influences your decision making an awful lot of time.
I'd like to ask you about our defence, just because you played in that wing position. There's a lot of up and in, isn't there, from our 13 winger guys in the outer channels. We don't seem to have a situation where we go a little bit soft and show them the edge when we're down numbers. Because I think one pass has taken out 4 or 5 guys sometimes. Now, it's very difficult when you're fatigued and you're up and down the field and there's kick retreat, quick ball. But I just think we're narrow. And I looked at some of the tries. One pass has taken out 3 or 4 guys. So I think our spacing is an issue. But certainly I'd love to know your opinion on that outer channel. Is there an option to get a little bit tighter as a winger and actually say, here's the outside, go, and I leg tackle you, rather than coming up and in and getting the timing wrong if you're down numbers?
Yeah, well, look, I think as well, you have to be, he's a young kid, so for me, I always feel like the really good information that you get should be coming from your 13 or your outside backs, because your guys like Quinny, whoever, they're in at the ball, they're working hard in mauls, whatever, in rucks. Maybe not Quinny, he could have been out dodging it, but but the guys who have the most time to read what defensive situation you're in, or how well set the attack are, as opposed to you defensively, are the guys out wide. They need to get the good information in to the guys in tight who are working hard around the corner. And if they're not doing that, that causes a problem, and you get people being disjointed.
And it's not all about speed and pace. No. Slow guys can defend well and just hold the space and push guys out.
Like John Hayes, one of the best defenders I ever saw. Honestly,
you don't have to be a bullet of a speedster to be a good defender. It's just good, intelligent decisions. And I think we're narrow. And I think you mentioned it. The 13 needs to. So maybe Chris, and I heard from some of the stuff after, he was very vocal, but I think on the inside you just got to react. We need to space out a little bit more.
Well, I was going to say, Jared Payne got a lot of credit for being very vocal when he was in the 13 jersey, and Joe and other people, you say that was one of his key roles in the team, was a kind of as a defensive fulcrum. So maybe are we missing that a bit?
I actually think that, more importantly, your winger is so important, because he's the connection with the backfield as well. You're calling people out. You have the most time to see, because oftentimes your centres can get caught in wide. They have to cover all the short options first. I think your winger is really, really important in that, because he's the connect. He has to defend. So he's also telling the 13 if he's there, because if he's not there, that changes the picture completely. If he has to defend a kick, if the fullback's out of position, if you've no 9 covering him behind, your winger has to there's loads of things that the winger has to be doing. He has to be able to assess those things and give good information into the 13, into the 12, into the 10, to get the information into the forwards.
Is that not happening, do you think?
I think they might be struggling a little bit there, from my mind. Or maybe the defensive system is trying to get off the line all the time. Maybe they're a bit too caught up in that system, Quinny. I think at times you have to concede ground, and then you have to try and compete at the breakdown. When you've conceded the ground, slow it up. Give your forwards, give your guys in the middle of the line time to get back in position, and then we get off the line. And they will be doing that. Andy Farrell is a really smart guy. He's a brilliant coach. Maybe those calls aren't. Maybe Stockdale is still a young guy. We don't like he's still learning the trade in there. He's going to be a brilliant player in there, and he's going to be good defensively. You can see he wants it. It's not a case of not wanting it. It's just I think at times positionally, I think at times he got lost. In terms of like even that easy run in try over the top. I mean, he got caught in no man's land. He should be in that situation. You still have to be blocking the passing channel as well as defending the guy. I think he got too tight. And footwork wise, when you see a guy backtracking completely backwards, you've done something wrong. And if you're defending with a forward against Italy, letting Dan Levy, take on a centre in a big wide space, you have to have the ability to either make the guy make a decision or step in and save Dan Levy in that situation, make him make a pass. So he's going to learn all these things as he goes along. He's got great coaches around him and good players around him. He's going to get there, but he's still raw enough for me in that aspect.